Sharma, the captain, has not been at his best as well since he's returned back to the side. So
I think big time they did panic because
Open the door, or shut the door for the WTC final.
absolutely 191 runs away from 10,000 test runs. I think he's bigger threat than Mitchell Stark at this venue.
Run at Sydney. So yes, there are.
Boxing Day, it's India versus Australia, and the stage is set because the series is 1-1. We thought if we move on to the fourth test, we might have somebody leading the series, but it's 1-1, and now the onus is on the remaining two teams. And the two matches are very important, but also I think the Indian fans as well as the Aussies will keep an eye on Centurion as well, because South Africa versus Pakistan is also kickstarting on Boxing Day. I have three people out here. Deepu, welcome to the show. Gurpal Baji and Rohan. Starting with you, Rohan. Do you think it's a fair point? There's no point for that, but was it a fair result at Gaba, despite the rain playing the final showdown?
I think the way the last wicket pair of Akashdeep and Jassi kind of gave it their everything. So there's a saying that the more harder you try, the luckier you get. So I think finally some spunk was shown by these two guys at the fag end, and I think that's what resulted in this draw, just to keep us alive. Because end of the day, if you as an outsider, just like how Ravi Shastri said, in the first three tests, the kind of scheduling was there. Australia should have been 3-0 up by now. To be honest, the kind of power pack team they have. So if India is still 1-1 and two games to play at Melbourne, Sydney, I think that's commendable from this unit. So let's hope how they go about those two tests and make use of the opportunity they have created.
Absolutely, that's something we need to look into, because 1-1. I think this MCG test is a make or break in the series, to be honest. Because if you go on to the fifth test, either one of the sides expected to trail. I don't think it's a draw. But Baji, similarly, just like Rohan mentioned about that partnership, but we saw that Gautam Gambhir, Virat Kohli, and Rohit Sharma celebrated when India avoided the follow-on. There were a lot of talks about that moment. To be honest, some took it in a good way, some took it in the other. If Gautam Gambhir was in the commentary box, would he have celebrated the way he has done as an Indian coach? Your thoughts on that? Do you think Test cricket rather, is now upgrading to win and loss, and people are not considering draw being a huge factor in this format?
So I guess that's the point. Sometimes draw is also a kind of a win. So that partnership between Akashdeep and Bumrah for it's not only saving follow-on, saving India from the test victory. Because as you will see, if they happen to get out cheaply, so the overs, the amount of overs which were bowled, and Australia were also like 70 to 80 runs, 89 runs for 7 wickets, and the amount of over they played, it could be a. I'm not sure India would have lost that match, but at least they would have under tremendous pressure. Had we been 150 for 7 and just binding a time to save a test match, or playing for the reins to save us from that match, that the morale has been completely down while coming to the MCG. So in that sense, of thing, that celebration was ecstatic, because last wicket partnership of 39, as who expected Akashdeep and Bumrah to save the follow-on. Had Jadeja saved the follow-on, I think they wouldn't might have celebrated like this. But 39 runs, last wicket, Aussies with the pitch supporting them with the rains, batsmen coming in and out, and green top. So that was a victory for India. And as Rohan said, the plan was to make India 3-0, but we are 1-1 and going into MCG and SCG and Sydney. We don't know what the weather would be, but this test match starting tomorrow would be very crucial. Make or break.
Absolutely.
This can open the door or shut the door for the WTC final.
Absolutely, it will make or break the series, just like I mentioned. Absolutely correct. But Deepu, coming to you, in the second innings, it was a different bowling performance for India in the third test. We understand that Australia wanted to have quick runs on the board, but we saw that little bit of glimpse on the stump mic, and also the plan of bowling to Travis Head, the biggest threat of Team India. It was not from the Indian captain, it was the ex-Indian captain, Virat Kohli, who pulled the plan. And you know, Virat Kohli and Mohammad Siraj, there is something always going on. So do you think the plan of bowling back of a lane deliveries on the body or not giving him room should be executed more in this final two test matches?
No, I think this is something being echoed all around. Travis Head has a weakness against the short ball, but again, we are doing it too late in the innings when he is over 100. So the match is halfway done. Now that Virat took that punt and we got that wicket, even in Perth as well when Bumrah was leading the side, Virat did that field setting, I guess.
Correct.
So that's important that we get these type of guys out, because he has had a number on multiple occasions now, and in order to win the series or even to compete with the Aussies, it's important that we get the best batters out as soon as possible. So hopefully we'll see some proactive captaincy from Rohit, and we have the guys who can support him in Virat and Jadeja. I was going to say Ashwin, but I'm still not able to digest that he's not there. But yeah, I think we'll be good going forward.
Okay, you said about Ravichandran Ashwin, Rohan, and I'll bring back to you. When he said about the legend Ravichandran Ashwin, nobody would have thought that he was about to retire in the third test. But I think it was a text message from Gurpal Paji to me. He said that there is a probable chance of somebody announcing a retirement, and it came to shock everybody. But your thoughts, please, because do you think it went in the right manner? Is there something wrong going on between the Indian dressing room? What's your thought? Did you digest it well, to be honest?
Honestly, no, man. Being a huge fan of Ash, it was a tough pill to swallow for everyone because mid-series is something that will hamper a lot of plans that the team would have had going into the series, where which player may be useful for certain conditions. All these things would have been laid down. So suddenly to lose a player of Ashwin's stature after Brisbane, I think it did come out like a shock. But Rohit did mention that the plans were going on when he reached Perth as well. So,
Mhm.
well, end of the day, it's a personal choice for Ashwin. Let's respect that and hope he delivers to Indian cricket in some other manner. But I'm pretty sure, like, if he was available at Melbourne, I think we have seen the last couple of tours as well. He has done pretty well because of the kind of spongy bounce that he can get and the extra height that he
He
gets.
created
And
havoc in the first day, first session, the last time we
yes,
played at MCG.
exactly, and to get players like Smith out very early, I
Smith.
think that was very decisive moment for us in that particular test, coming back from the 36 all out. So I think when you have a senior player stepping up like that in crunch situations, I think it matters a lot to the team and the fans as well. So end of the day, it's a legacy. It needs to be carried over. He's been a legend. He's been a goat for us. The scientist, that approach that he gets into every little things, the innovations, the kind of just the thinking that he has sometimes can rub
Correct.
people the wrong way, but end of the day he's doing it for his own evolution and the betterment for the team as well. So I think it doesn't matter how it comes out, but as long as he's getting the result, that's what mattered for him. As you said, maybe a couple of years were still left in him, could have gone past or at least come close to Anil Bhai's Indian record. But records are meant to be broken, if not as somebody else, maybe in some other day. But moving forward, looking at this test match, it'll be interesting who India plays because Melbourne, because of the size of the boundaries, a good spinner can always utilize it to trap some of the attacking mindset of these Aussie batters. So let's see who comes through because to even match someone like Ashwin's capability will be a huge shoes to fill for whoever comes in.
Absolutely. 537 wickets, Gurpal Paji. And he was near about 82 wickets away from Anil Kumble. So he had the amount of legs and everything. I think he could have easily played at least 1 year more for Team India, if not two. But now I think it's best possible news for somebody like Washington Sundar. And we are hearing reports that Tanush Kotian is traveling to the Australia as well. He's probably set to be added to the squad. So young legs, young guns are there. But just like Rohan mentioned about that, also Gurpal Paji, you can add on to your point. Ravindra Jadeja scored runs with the bat, and not a single foot wrong was put by Washington Sundar in the first test, who's your spinner test rather.
So before coming to this point, I just wanted to add one more record, which we have might missed. Thing over the 100 years of cricket, Test cricket, only Sean Pollock and Ravichandra Ashwin has an average of 25 above with the bat and bowling average of 24 less with the ball.
Correct.
So and who also have played 100,
Unbelievable.
100 matches, 100 Test matches. So this is a staggering record for only two players, two legend of players like Sean Pollock. We know how mighty he was as a bowler, and Ashwin is also of the same class, more than Sean Pollock because of his scientist skills and his technical skills.
Absolutely.
And as far as I guess the choice of spinner is concerned, we have to look at the pitch at the MCG. Most probably, I guess Jadeja will continue. Maybe India may go for the four seamers. Maybe Nitish Reddy could make way. This could happen because India must need four seamers at MCG because there's a spongy bounce. And as you know, Melbourne, we see all types of weathers. And when we start with the 40 degrees of heat, maybe someday cloudy and all, we need a proper bowler because what Nitish Reddy is giving us runs, Akashdeep, Bumrah, and combine of these, they can give those runs. But wicket is very important because after some point of time, when the ball gets old, semi old, there's not much reversing due to the conditions. For that, we need a attacking bowler, rather medium pacer whom they can play day in day out in their backyards.
Okay, so you're saying that India needs to play four seamers. If not Nitish Kumar Reddy, we might see somebody else. That might make the tail end to be very, very long for Team India, which Rohit Sharma doesn't prefer, to be honest. But Deepu, coming back to you when it comes to striking with a new ball, Mohammad Siraj is 7 wickets away from 100 Test wickets. I think this is the stage set for him to step up and support Jasprit Bumrah.
Well, he needs to because Bumrah is the lone man doing that job right now at the moment with the new ball or even with the old ball. Akashdeep did great in the Gava test, but I believe it's high time Siraj also steps up. And now that Shami won't be there in the BGT, the responsibility rises more on his shoulders. given that what he did last time around when he
Mhm.
was in Australia. So yeah, I think it's important that he takes his role seriously now because he's the senior seamer now, comparing with the other two, Akashdeep
Correct.
and Reddy, and even Harshit Rana who is in the dugout, and I believe he'll be playing the next game. And hopefully we have a part-time
Wow.
spinner as well bowling with Rohit Sharma bowling in that game, because I don't see two spinners coming up, but I think it's important that we play a part-timer.
So you just mentioned Harshid Rana has a chance of playing the fourth
Maybe,
test.
maybe. Given that
Okay,
what Paji just mentioned, I think the conditions might just suit him.
I'll be very eager to hear the predicted playing 11 of yours once the show progresses. But moving on to Ruan, once again, back to you, just like you mentioned about the bowlers. Similarly, K. Rahul, I think pitch perfect when it comes to his technique this series so far, has been one of our best batters, rather the best batter so far in the series. 147 runs away from 1,000 runs versus Australia. Similarly, a man who was hungry for runs, on the other hand, Stephen Smith is back amongst the runs. He's 191 runs away from 10,000 test runs. Is Steve Smith getting it in this series?
If not Melbourne, I think definitely Sydney being a home ground for him. I think he loves batting there because the ball is a bit more coming onto the bat and easy for stroke play. As Paji rightly said, Melbourne bit more spongy bounce, not easy for stroke players. You need to bide your time a lot. And he was, though he got 100, he looked very scratchy. Akashdeep could have been lucky with any time he could have got him out. So I think the
Was
head defect on the
Akashdeep
opposite.
the unluckiest bowler in the third test?
I think he got compensated in the second innings a little bit. So I think end of the day balances out. So what you want is getting the wickets at the right time rather than just getting it overall. So I think if he keeps sticking to his right line and length, he has the ability to nip the ball just enough to get those edges. I think someone like Jussie at the other end can keep giving him the right advice and make sure he also contributes as much as he can with wicket taking ability. And coming to Rahul, I think has been great for us, especially overseas. The kind of approach you need to blunt the new ball and so that the later on batsman can make best use of it and keep the run scoring great. I think Rahul, the longer he bats, he's doing a bit like a Pujara did it for us in the last two series, kind of tire out the bowlers and wear out the new ball as well. So I think that
Mhm.
approach should suit Melbourne here as well. And not to forget, KL Rahul, Shubman Gill, Mohammad Siraj, all three made their debuts at Melbourne, though
Correct.
on previous tours. So I think that will be something of a unique record. I think for all three to return back to the same ground again. Hope these three all step up and do something good on this particular kind of homecoming for these guys.
So you're saying homecoming, hope these guys step up for Team India. Similarly for Australia, there's one man who has a love story at the G. It's Scott Boland, Gurpal Singh. Talking about Scott Boland, he's back into the side. No Josh Hazelwood for the remainder of the Test series. He loves bowling at MCG. I think he's bigger threat than Mitchell Stark at this venue.
Yes, I completely agree. He's bigger threat because not only he bowls wicket to wicket, he doesn't give runs any. He just stifles the batsman and against with his height and with his action
A
and spongy
like to
bounce.
like replacement of Hazelwood, rather.
Not like to like because we haven't seen him bowling with a new ball much often. He always comes at a first change,
First change.
whether he plays with along with Josh Hazlewood as a fourth seamer or a third seamer probably, or because I guess. But this time, he will be. It will be interesting to see what Australia does because Pat Cummins and Mitchell Stark bowling with a new ball can go for runs as well. So it would be interesting what Australia do. I guess they will start with Bolland and Stark, and Cummins will come as a one change spinner as he does.
Okay, so Cummings as your one change, probably that could be possible. But yes, Australia is a side that always pick themselves players. It's just the injuries, and you always have a replacement. But coming to you, Deepu, now talking about Team India, there's a concern at number three which is going unnoticed. Shubman Gill, since his that knock at Gabba 90 plus score, he's not yet got a 50 plus score out of India. So your concerns for that, he has to perform. Otherwise, is there anybody that can be replacing him?
Well, there are certainly players in line to replace him. Obviously, they have picked up Easwaran, but I believe he's just on a Australian trip to he's just moving cities and not playing any game. Very surprising to see that. So hopefully, if Gill doesn't perform, we'll be seeing Easwaran at Sydney. So yes, there are places, but it's important that he realizes his potential and also the fact that he is not the only one who has cemented his position at three. He has taken someone's position who was battling in the previous PGT, Cheteshwar Pujara. So
Correct.
he needs to realize that that the position that he's having, it's a legacy of a person. So hopefully he understands his game, and hopefully lets out that aggressive nature of his at Melbourne.
Okay, so that's what you're expecting. Yes, Gurpalji, over to you.
I am completely agree with the Panshu for that. He must. It's not time to realize the potential. It's to now to convert and give the results. What Team India has been backing him as he's been considered as a special player or
And
we can
also
say.
not to take your spot for granted, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Not because he always speaks everything. Yeah, I was this season was bad. I wanted to prove myself. Lots of talking has been done. Now let the bad talks because what we have learned from our days of cricket, only bad speaks. I never seen Sachin Tendulkar, Yuvraj or Ganguly's and they speak or even Dravid and Lakshman. Whenever they have going through a bad phase, only the bad do the talking. But now youngsters do the talking. It's high time. It's bad. His bad should speak now.
So you're saying his bat should do the talking. We saw Virat Kohli doing a celebration when he was the captain at Perth. Do you think his bat should also keep talking and leave balls outside the fourth stump, please?
I today I just read from Ref Sports that Gill, KL Rahul, and Virat Kohli are in good touch. So I just told them
What an
that is
update was that?
that good touch should be middled, not touch. We don't want a force some touch from Gill and Virat Kohli. We want them to middle the ball rather than a touch. KL, I'm agree.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with him. His touch, I'm fine.
No, no, no.
His,
I
his
have said that the same to Rohan as well. He's one of the rather the best batters so far for Team India in terms of technique, the composure, and he's batting like a test batter, not like Shubman Gill or the rest who's batting like one days. And too much white ball cricket has spoiled their technique, to be honest. But moving on to the other statistics as well, when it comes to Boxing Day, Rohan, the last two
Yeah.
times India played Boxing Day Test matches at Australia, two wins and one draw in the last three times. Are you expecting a positive result this time around?
Yeah, historically also Melbourne has been the ground where India has won the most test matches overseas. I think we have won four there. 77 we won also a very good
Yeah,
test match where
we have won
Chandra,
four.
yeah, was one of the match winners there. And not to, I know he's not there again. We don't want to name those two guys. But Ajinkya Rahane also has a couple of hundreds there, and he was
He was
brilliant
the
last time.
captain as well.
Yes, he led from the front there on the opening day. Again, back of the 36 all out to come good and put that captain's knock is what I felt that was to showcase gumption there so that a resurgence happened. I mean, everybody talks about the GABA, but Melbourne wasn't there. GABA wouldn't have happened at all. So I think that kind of is a template for batters there, especially as Paji said, for someone like Gill, he's kind of pushing out too much with hard hands, I feel, letting the ball
Exactly.
come to him and soft hands is more required. As you said rightly, because of too much white ball cricket, we are trying to push at the ball and trying to look for scoring opportunities. I think just settle down a bit and let the game happen, and your natural flow will take over once you're well set. I feel because he's throwing away a lot of starts, which isn't good test match batting. I feel, but
Absolutely.
Melbourne, I think definitely will suit India. The crowd will be very good in numbers there
Expecting a
for
record
Christmas.
crowd, to be honest.
Definitely, because I think India generally has a good record at Melbourne Test match as well as in white ball cricket there. So I think there is a bit of energy coming through. Hopefully, not just one or two individuals we mentioned, but as a team we do rise up to the potential and showcase it big time because you have got this opportunity. Let's drive home the advantage is what I feel.
If my memory is correct, the last time India played an international game at MCG, was it the Virat Kohli 6 to Haris Rauf?
That's what I wanted to say because there is always that energy because of the crowd. Something magical happens, so you never know who's gonna come good to be your hero. All 11 needs to believe that they can pull off this win rather than depend on one or two individuals. Because due respect to everyone, it's been just with Bumrah who has kept India alive till
Absolutely.
this third test. So I think
And
right time
it's fair
everybody
enough
else
if
gets into
everybody.
this
I
one.
think the talk has been Jasprit Bumrah versus Australia, and it's absolutely right. I can somewhat add KL Rahul as well beside Jasprit Bumrah if you talk about the batting department because the others have not
Yeah,
performed. We've spoken about Shubman Gill. I want to also highlight Rishabh Pant. He has not been so far at his best so far with the bat. He has not let fireworks so far, so he has to perform as well. But moving on to the players to watch out for, starting with Team India, the three players I am chosen, Gurpalji, Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, and Akashdeep are the three players to watch out for. For Australia, I've gone with Steve Smith, Travis Head, and Scott Boland are the three players. Your choices for India, please.
For Australia, zero, no players. I want to choose. And for India, Jaiswal. Jaiswal is a must player. Being a left-hander opener, he can bring lots of equations to the fore because left-hander because Australia don't like bowling to the left-hander. Though he's getting out due to his mistake, playing too early or something. Jaiswal,
But
I
if you
will.
notice that 2 overs which India played in the second innings, he made a technique change. He was walking down the pitch and playing Mitchell
Okay.
Stark. I think that's a very, very good learning. He's a quick learner, as we all seen, and I think he has rectified that.
So J for Jaiswal, J for Jassi. And now have to go bit for Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma could be a very key. Playing coming at number 6, if he can score anything about 50, 60 or 100, that means you are talking. You are leading the match. At
Okay,
that
so
time,
you're
if he
saying
scores 100, or something like a quick 550 or 70. That means you are in India advantage.
Okay, so fair enough. So you're gone with your three choices. I'm surprised that you've not picked Virat Kohli because this post from Ravi Chandran Ashwin said, Rohan, that I'm walking out with you to bat at MCG. So does Virat Kohli have to do something to make a statement for the great man?
I think it's high time he did because, due respect to the Perth 100, it was a bit easier time to bat, and Jaiswal had pretty much laid into it along with
That
Rahul, the
trade was
opening
set, to be
partnership.
honest.
Yeah, I think he just made the best use of that batting practice, I feel, at Perth. But Virat Kohli at Melbourne is a gun player. We do know, as you said rightly, in that past T20 World Cup. And even adding to what Gurpal Paji said, Rohit Sharma also has a pretty good record, though white ball at Melbourne. He kind of loves that bounce, which helps his normal pull shots and all those things. But it's just that he needs to get settled a bit. What I feel, if Rohit scores even any kind of a decent runs, that will help in his captaincy as well. So I think Rohit Sharma's contribution with the bat will define how well India can even strategize as a captain,
Absolutely
so
bang
that
on.
some burden is taken out of Jassi, man. He's doing everything with ball, bat, I think even in the field. So please, for Jassi's sake, everybody step up.
Absolutely bang on because that's what I was about to think and I would about to ask as well. Rohit Sharma, the captain, has not been at his best as well since his return back to the side. So that's something you need to look into. If he scores runs, he will get the confidence. But Deepu, similarly for Australia, the three players I have mentioned, anybody else you want to see, or are you sticking with the same?
Uh, I think I'll go with Uzi. Uzi hasn't been in the runs, Khwaja, and maybe could be his last as well, given the fact he's in horrendous form. So maybe some respite can come in for him at this venue. He has scored runs at Melbourne. Apart from that, even though I don't, as Paji said, he's not picking Aussie players. Even I don't want to, but still, I think Labuschagne can come into the party, and I'll go with
Okay.
Nathan Lyon because Lyon hasn't bowled yet in the
Yeah.
series so much. So I think these two venues could be the one where Lion can rule the roost.
Absolutely, especially SCG, that's without a doubt. But you said about your three players. Before moving on to the battles, Rohan, Nathan McSweeney has been dropped from the side. A day before announcing the squad, he said, I'm very much excited for the Border Gavaskar Trophy Boxing Day. And the very next day, he has been dropped. Sam Constas has been added to the squad. He might potentially be the opening partner of Usman Khawaja. Do you think Australia a little bit panicking when it comes to the replacement of David Warner?
I think big time they did panic because the batting conditions in the first three tests weren't ideal, to be honest, for any person, let alone a debutant facing Jasprit Bumrah at the top of his game. So I think he did survive pretty well at Adelaide. I think one of very vital contributions in that game was McSweeney, I feel. But what happens is, Pritham, the kind of scheduling in Australia is these three test matches are toughest for batters, especially for subcontinent batters. And what used to happen for Melbourne, Sydney, a change used to happen, and that particular batsman would score the runs, and suddenly everybody would be like, oh, this player should have been picked in the first three tests as well, without realizing the conditions were actually tough. And as it goes forward, Melbourne, Sydney gets easier to bat. So same thing may happen to Constas. He may score a few runs. People may say, oh, is this guy's better than McSweeney? We do forget is McSweeney is not even an opener. He was a middle order
Yeah.
batter who's converted into opening. So that fellow found all the hardest battles against him. And
And
poor fellow did
after being dropped in that from the squad,
BBL.
he went and played a BBL game for the Brisbane Heat in the middle order
Yeah.
and scored a half century out there. So I think
So that's what
just
that
like
guy
you
has a
mentioned,
tough class, right? So I think,
just like
but
you
I mean, that's not Australian way. I think they like to back their players and show them more support. So I think they did make a bit of a hasty decision or what, I don't know. But end of the day, it's their choice, man. Let's focus on ourselves. Let them think about or scratch their heads who should be, who shouldn't be. It's an opening for us, I feel, because as Deepu said, Khwaja has been in not so good form either.
Mhm.
So if we can keep the openers for a very minimal runs, I think that kind of give us that opening to attack their two best batters in Labuschagne and Steve Smith with the ball still relatively new.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, Paji, over to you.
So I'm agree with Rohan. There's nothing wrong McSweeney has done. He's only ran into the hot and red Jasprit Bumrah. But what I'm hearing from the reports is that Australia want to come hard at India at the start of the innings, which they are not able to get because McSweeney also getting bogged down or getting out under 10 or something. Only one inning in Adelaide where he survived the Bumrah spell. Same as Khwaja. Khwaja is also
Exactly, I
not
was
giving
about
up
to come. Then what mistake has Khwaja? Because Khwaja has been in dreadful form too.
so that's what. So that's this is the first time we are seeing they are not backing the youngster and they have backed the experienced guy. Just because I guess India is playing and India is a rival. That is why. So Sam Contas what he has scored century against Indian side touring side, but the almost all the bowlers were there except from Jasprit Bumrah. He didn't face Jasprit Bumrah in that practice game. So again, it would be a as you are saying, about to say about battle, I am looking for Sam Contrast versus Jasprit Bumrah for sure. This battle.
Okay, you have given one of your battles. Yes, we are about to come to there, and let's talk about the key battles for this game. And I'm going my three choices. Travis Head versus Akashdeep is my first. Scott Boland versus Virat Kohli is my second. And I'm continuing to say Mitchell Stark versus Yashasvi Jaiswal as my third. Gurpal Bhaji, I'll hand it over to you once again. It's like you mentioned your first. Which one are you going for?
So Sam Contrast and Jasprit Bumrah will be my first battle. I hope if Rashid Krishna plays, if India go with the four seamer, Rashid Krishna play, it will be interesting how Rashid Krishna versus Travis Head, because he is the man who has the height with that spongy bounce, can literally go with the short stuff to all the Australian batting lineup. And even Siraj with against Siraj against Smith and Labuschagne and Akashdeep, and plus Mitchell Stark versus
I think people are keep very like Akashdeep is turning out to be very underrated. He has very good short balls because of this very smooth run up, right? He's a very skiddy type of bowler. So you have gone with your three choices. Let's move on to the predicted playing 11, starting with the Australian playing 11, because I think players speak themselves when it comes to the Australian side. Usman Khawaja, Sam Constella, the openers, Manal Labuschagne, Steve Smith, Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh, Alex Carey, Pat Cummings, Mitchell Stark, Scott Boland, and Nathan Lyon. This is the 11. No changes. Deepu, coming to you. I think this is a set 11.
Yeah, this will be the same 11 playing with obviously Cons just coming in. I don't see any room for changes unless Head is unfit or something kind of a reason is there. So who's going to replace him? That's to be seen, but I believe he'll be fine. So yeah, no
He'll be
changes.
fine, absolutely. Even if he plays with one leg, he's going to definitely play versus Team India for sure. So Travis said should be fit. So playing 11 for Australia is similar, the same players, and the players pick themselves. Now comes Team India's predicted playing 11. All three of them are pretty much ready for their viewpoints. My predicted playing 11 is Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul are the openers. Shuman Gill at 3, Virat Kohli 4, Rishabh Pant at 5, Rohit Sharma at 6, Nitish Kumar Reddy at 7, Ravindra Jadeja at 8, Akashdeep, Bumrah, and Siraj are my three seamers. What's your thought? Starting with Rohan, your viewpoints. Baji said four seamers, Deepu said four seamers. Your choices, please.
I think out of your 11, I think 10 should be automatic choices. The only change they may look at depending on the conditions, because as you rightly said, the first day will be pretty much hot, but moving on, there'll be some cloud cover. But if the heat kind of factor is always there, the pitch can tend to break up, and
And the
the
cracks
last
will
couple
open
of
up.
days, cracks can come in. So I think a good spinner can be handy. If someone like Washi is fit and firing, we can use the second spinner as well, because as you said, Rohit likes that batting depth, the fag end of the batting order as well. So someone like a Jaddu, Nitish Reddy, or Washi, all these guys can give you that flexibility as well. So I think for Nitish Reddy, I think Washi can come in, because Reddy hasn't done anything wrong from his end with the bat.
Correct.
Bowling, that's been a slightly let down. But if the conditions are suited, if it's overcast and all that, then someone like a Nitish Reddy can be a useful bet. So I think till that last moment of the test match, this slot of number 8 of Reddy or Washi can be kept under wraps, and then let's see, or else it should be a no change.
Okay, no similar team, but he's saying it's a last moment change if you have to play Washington Sundar or Nitish Kumar Reddy. Over to you, Paji. How many changes for you?
So I'm expecting only one change. I'm agreed with Rohan. Has Rohit Sharma or other middle order would have been fine, like Gill, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma firing, I would have definitely gone for a extra seamer, four seamer, because I know my top five or top six are contributing with the runs. It's just we don't know. Neither Rishabh Pant, neither Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli are not in good form. Virat Kohli has scored 100 though, but rest of the batters, even Jaiswal has also not scored after that once 160. So that is a worrying point. So they India may look to go on with adding the batting depth. So there could be a possibility of adding a Vashi and dropping Nitish Kumar Reddy. But in hindsight, if you want to win this test match, and with the reports of pitch, there will be grass on the wicket, because if there is so much heat, the grass would be there to bind the wicket for the
Correct.
5 days.
So,
So
so
there
you're
won't
saying
be
same changes like Rohan? Maybe
same
Washington
changing, or
Sundar for
I
Nitish?
would go. I still believe India should go with four seamers, because Bumrah has bowled a lot of overs. You need to
So who is your
give
fourth?
as break. My fourth, I will go with Prasidh Krishna.
Prasidh Krishna for Nitish Kumar Reddy?
Yes, I will go with Prasidh
Okay.
Krishna. I will take that
Okay,
punt.
Prasidh Krishna for Nitish Kumar Reddy for the fourth test is your choice. Over to you, Deepu. What is yours?
I'll be going for the same team, to be honest. The reason being, if we include Prasid, we'll be losing out on Reddy, who gives us batting lower down. And if we get a Washi in, we'll be reduced to three seamers, And with Bumrah done a lot of bowling, I am not able to trust Siraj at this moment. And we have Akashdeep who played just at the Gabba. So we'll be compromising when we are making changes. We are losing batting when we include a bowler, and when we include a spinner, we'll be losing a seamer. So I just believe, just go with these guys and, back Nitish Kumar Reddy to come good with the ball. We have seen he's coming good with the bat, but just have faith in him and believe that he can, bowl good spells for us. So I'll be
Fair
going with the
enough. So
same.
you are going with the same 11
Yeah.
just like I've gone. Rohan and Gurpalji have given their perspectives. Fair enough. Now it's the big moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's Boxing Day and it's India versus Australia. Predictions time now. Starting with you, Rohan. Is it 2-1, 1-1? Who is leading or is it still remaining a draw?
I think definitely we should see a result 2-1 should happen. But Australia should be favorites to start with, man. Overall, this series at home, they are favorites. India, if they're considering themselves as underdogs, I think that's what will suit them better because high expectations will only put pressure on this team. We don't
Correct.
want them to be under pressure. Let the Aussies rattle up whatever media, all outside noise they want to do. Let them do. Let us focus on our game on field and let, as Paji said, let the bat or the ball do the talking. For that, I think less pressure on us, better for us. Let Australia be the favorite. Let them do all the running, just like at Brisbane. We can come back and kind of keep them attacking from behind and play a smarter game. So I think Australia do start favorites, but if toss goes our way and certain conditions help us, definitely India can pull this off because Melbourne has been pretty lucky for us.
Okay, so for 55-45 to Australia?
I'll say 60-40 to Australia, but again, given the right conditions and the usage of our tactical brilliance from our players, I think that's what should help us. If Rohit comes good and Jesse to continue well, India start having a better chance to win.
Okay, so 60-40 to Australia. Over to you, Gurpalji. What are yours?
So India has to repeat the performance of Perth. Perth batting second innings, India has to bat well. Bat for saving their life, saving their country. It's like a war. So India has to bat well because you need whether if you ball, if you get whether you bat first inning, whether you bat second innings, you win the toss or lose the toss, you must score above 350 runs. You must
Okay, so
score above
355
350
runs.
runs.
India has to bat. At least I think India needs to make Australia get the second new ball. Till then, if they can bat, that's a good opportunity. What are your thoughts? 60-40 Rohan said. Your predictions, please.
India is winning MCG.
India is winning MCD. Straight away answer. He's always going for India, to be honest. Over to you, Nadipu. Where is it heading towards when it comes to your prediction?
Well, I sense an Indian roar coming in at MCG. The fans will be roaring, and I think the tricolor will be flying high at MCG. And I sense an aggression from this team, India. We have
Okay.
been down and out in the last few months, and the fans are also eagerly waiting for some spice and aggression. And I think it's high time we pull up our socks, and this is the best time to rout these Aussies out, get them under their skins, and just throw them out, man. I mean, there are a lot of scores to be settled, so no better opportunity to smash them out in MCG and SCG. So yeah, I'll be going with my team India.
Okay, just like the players, I think Deepu is also fired up for India to win the fourth test and lead the series moving on to Sydney. Thank you so much, all three of you. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. It's India versus Australia, Boxing Day fourth test. Sit up a bit early because it's 5 a.m. It's starting 4:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. We have the toss. Sit back and enjoy. Hopefully, when we come for the fifth test, we'll start saying with India lead the fifth test. Thank you so much, all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.